Hello, friends and fellow collectors. Flip Young here once again, checking in to review this Marvel Select Thor figure. So this is the Mighty Thor from Marvel now. One of the newer renditions of the Prince of Asgard Thor. So it's a newer costume. However, at some points of the figure or the costume, it did maintain its classic Mighty Thor look. But there's a lot of changes that happened, of course. As you can see, first thing you would notice is the color. He used to wear like a blue suit on or armor. Now he has this black and, of course, silver chainmail or scale mail here on the legs. The figure does come with a bunch of accessories here. Personal favorite is this spinning Mjolnir effect. So if you look at every head of the hammer here, it does have its own individual scuffing or scuff painting here. For to provide a wear and tear effect for the Mjolnir. A lot of battle damages here. The middle portion, the spinning portion here is translucent plastic, and they did put in some brushing of brown to give these handles a spinning effect. So I like the way that they did put in some time to individually sculpt and paint them. Every Mjolnir here. It does the figure does come with a regular Mjolnir, which once again have that decent paint as well or detailing. If you look at the handles, it's pretty neat there. It has this. The handle has its own, of course, handle again. To hang into his belt or something like that. Or normally he does put his hands inside this handle here to make sure that he does not lose his hammer. I just made that up. And of course, it does come with this spinning Mjolnir wielding hand, which its sole purpose is simply to be interchangeable to this right hand here and to simply wield this spinning Mjolnir. That's it. This thing is not capable of holding this regular Mjolnir due to the fist being closed. There is no way for this to wield this Mjolnir, so it's only designed to wield this spinning Mjolnir here. And if you notice, it is slightly angled, so it's like angled this way, like when you're holding something like a bat or in this case Mjolnir. It does come with interchangeable head, and the face sculpt is pretty much consistent with the helmeted version, so I really appreciate that attention to detail. He does have some highlighting or shadowing effect on his blonde hair, so pretty neat. And of course, it does come with a stand here. That way, we could put Mighty Thor here in some extreme poses without having to worry about falling off. So let's set these accessories aside and let's take a look at the figure itself. Oh, and before I go on, let me show you the box real quick. I did open this guy, just to save that time. It takes a whole lot of time just to open a box, especially a Marvel Select. The packaging was pretty tight here, as well as the accessories. So it took me like forever to open him up. So standard Marvel Select box. At the side, you would see some artwork, and at the back, of course, a picture of the figure. So let's go back to the figure itself. And if you see the price tag over here, I got him from for $24.95 before tax at Disney Toy Store and or Disney Store. And for me, Marvel Select a bigger figure at that price point. It's a great price for me, to pay for a figure like this due to the bulkiness or the size of the figure. Marvel Select actually stands out when they're making, the bigger figures for that $25 price point. They do give us a lot of plastic and a lot of quality. Some may lack in articulation, but for bigger figures, for example, Juggernaut or the Abomination or the Thanos, I mean, it may have been lacking in articulation, but pretty much it made up for it in size, and you don't really want to pose them to the extreme, since they are bigger figures. When you display them, you normally just place them at the back of the rest of your figures, since they stand taller. But however, this Thor, it may be bigger, a bigger or a little bulkier type of figure compared to regular sized figure. However, he does have a whole lot of articulation on him, and I was surprised he even have like a T joint here in the hip area. Or let's see, it's more like the DC you see a joint if you remember, the classic DC figures. Okay, so let's start with the detailing of this guy. It has this, decently sculpted helmet here. As you could see, they have that, shiny or glittery paint placed on the helmet. If you look at the eyes, they didn't skip out on, the painting of the eyes. It looks like he has blue eyes here. But I like the way they painted the eyes. It's not cockeyed or, it's not cross-eyed either. So some things on this figure, a Marvel Select just did right. Behind the helmet, you would see some cloth there, like a barbaric warrior's headpiece as well. It's like part of their headpiece on their helmets. So it's nice that they placed this on a Thor figure, since Thor pretty much may be a prince of Asgard. However, he is also very battle oriented. He did maintain some of the classic features that the Thor costume has, such as these four platings here on his costume. Of course, the red cape, the helmet with wings. The wings, however, are supposedly made of metal, and very soft rubbery material here. He comes with this chainmail on the thigh as part of his armor, and just a standard battle boots here. On his wrist, you would see some spikes here on his wrist guard, and he has this open hand gloves. So pretty much that's it. I appreciate the way they sculpted the figure. How they made the shoulders not smaller than the arms. He has pretty much a good body symmetry here for a warrior type of build. So the head does look up that much, hindered by this clothing piece here behind the helmet. It does look down this much, which is nice because standard height of other figures maybe like this tall right here. So he pretty much looks down to that level. So this motion here, or this angle, is actually functional for posing as well, or for dioramas. So his shoulders, or let me point out the left and right movement of the neck. Some movements of the head are mostly hindered by this clothing piece right here. So the shoulders does move out that much. It does move forward. It does move back. I was, I thought that the cape here would hinder the backward movement, but due to that cape being a soft material, it doesn't really hinder the backward movement of the hands. However, of course, if you move the hand backwards, it does lift this cape backwards as well, which gives the figure that flapping flopping gesture of a cape or a coat, which reminds me of Denzel Washington on his action movies. So bicep swivel here. I was actually a bit surprised that the figure came with a bicep swivel, because if you look at the sculpting here, it looks like it's fitted, very snug, and it doesn't. It even looks seamless here. It looks like part of just the cut of the muscle here. It doesn't look like an actual functional bicep swivel, but for some reason they were able to make that functional. So I do appreciate that. It comes with single jointed elbow, and of course the angle is a little short of 90 degrees, but that should be fine. He has this, of course, ab articulation here. However, it's not too articulate. As far as the angles, it doesn't give you much function here. However, on the hip, he has this twisting motion here. And good thing that the warrior skirt here and the belt is a soft rubber material, so it doesn't really hinder the twisting motion of the figure. The leg moves forward this much, and it does move back. And of course, it does do that splitting motion here, like the DC Universe Classics joint. Double jointed knee. And of course, it does have this thigh swivel as well. And on the ankles, it does have this side to side tilting. And of course, the toe could point up and point down. Let's see. And he has this lower ankle or lower shin swivel as well. So he is packed with articulation, except for the abdominal region here. So that's the only part where he is actually lacking. As far as the wrist, I do apologize. I think I forgot to mention the wrist. It does have this tilting motion here, or a hinge joint, and it does have twisting motion on the, or a hinge joint on the wrist as well. On this one, he has the same thing, but the way the hand tilts due to the right hand wielding the Mjolnir, the tilting motion is the opposite way, or it's like rolling a dice kind of motion. So pretty much that's it for the figure. A quick size comparison here. Let me compare him to Marvel Legends Thor. So that's how he compares. If you look at the costume of these guys is pretty much similar. Different sculpting, different symmetries, but he has the same silver helmet, same red cape. Pretty much the rest of the costume is the same, except for the way the silver divides with the black. This one is side to side, and this one is front to back. So pretty much that's it. He's a bit taller than the Marvel Legends. This one looks a little bulkier, maybe due to the fact that he may be shorter, so he looks bulkier. But symmetrically wise, I like the way this one looks. And let's compare him to regular sized Marvel Legends. Let's say Agent Venom here. So let's put this guy aside. So that's how he compares. So he may not be displayed with other Marvel Legends, since he is like too tall for them. And let me compare both Mjolnirs here before we end the video. So as far as the Mjolnir though, I like the Marvel Legends better. The color, this one looks like a block of cement, like shaped into a Mjolnir. This one looks like a special type of metal. And of course, I like the way that the handle is thinner here, because it gives this, the head part of the hammer, actually, it makes it look bigger. So pretty much that's it for this figure. Hope you liked the review. And of course, may you have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon, and Flip Young here checking out. Goodbye.